Totally.
All right. Well, Ryan, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. I was sitting, we were at this Come Follow Me, and I'm just sitting there, and you stand up and start talking, and I'm like, this guy seems like he seems like he's got a good story. I just want to know how he's here. I don't know. How old are you?
26.
26. Okay.
Bit older.
No, that's good. Experienced, learned a lot. I'm sure.
I hope so.
You've probably, anybody anywhere has made their fair share of mistakes and learned a lot of things. And so
Lots.
I'm sure,
A lot.
I'm sure you've got lots to teach us today. Something on my mind specifically, I remember when like I was saying, kind of lead into the story. I remember I'm a big first impression guy.
Yep.
I think a lot of people that I meet, like right off the bat, it's like, you know what they say, like your first 7 seconds with someone's like makes a huge difference. Like, especially like knocking doors. They're like, yo, the first,
100%.
like the first 7 seconds can like make or break the sale. Like
Yeah.
eye contact, confidence in your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just got up and you just spoke, and I could tell that you were sincere about what you were talking about. And especially when it's about the gospel, I'm like all for that, just because gathering Israel is like my highest priority.
Yeah.
And so anytime I can see that somebody else cares deeply about the gospel, it's like I need to pick that person's brain. I need to talk to them. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, man. It's a big, you can kind of, if you're really consecrated and serious about the gospel, you can usually pick up signals pretty quick when somebody around you is, and yeah, first impressions are super important and like having confidence, but it's like, I'll give you an example. The girl I was teaching with, my friend, at that Come Follow Me.
Zena?
Yeah.
Okay.
She, we had actually become good friends a few months ago, meeting at parties and stuff. She'd come to my functions, and then she just seemed like this kind of funny, like quirky girl. But then when we became good friends, like we actually started talking about the gospel, and I learned there's this depth that she had with the gospel. And I'd meet people like that, like some of my employees who sometimes you can tell right off the bat, and then sometimes it just catches you off guard. Like you start talking about important things like gospel principles.
Yeah.
And like you unlock this entire like universe
Right.
when you're speaking with someone about like principles of the gospel. And so I love matching the wavelength with other people in that regard.
I love that. Have you always been that way?
Dude, well, I'm a convert.
You're a convert.
So
This is going to be awesome.
I joined the church when I was 22. No.
You remember the year?
Yeah, 20. It was 2021, August 8th.
Dude, what?
I was 22 years old.
Really?
Yep. And I think I've always been someone who is, like I have a lot of fun, and all my friends will tell you that I have a lot of fun, but I also take life pretty seriously as far as like the important things. I view life as a really important thing. And so I'll have serious conversations, but I think I've over time I've kind of winded it back, because sometimes you try to talk about serious things and people get freaked out because it's like people don't want to take life too seriously, which is good. You have to have fun and be lighthearted. But when you connect with someone who shares that desire to approach life with intention, then that really unlocks a more rich connection. And so I think I've always been that way with people, but then the gospel gave it a lens, I would say, like, because before it was just like exploring deep ideas that I didn't really understand, and I just wanted to think deeply, be a philosopher or whatever, kind of silly. But
No.
then the gospel gave me a framework to view the world, and since then I haven't strayed from that, and it's just been deepening and maturing every month, every year, even since I got home from my mission. Every month is like more and more spiritual.
Wow. There's so much to dive in on that. Clearly, you mentioned serving a mission.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2025. You're 26, baptized at 22.
Baptized, went on my mission a year after I joined, about like a year and a couple months. Then
So
I just got back in November.
Were you baptized August of 2021?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so August 8th, 2021,
Baptized.
you're baptized.
Mm-hmm.
You're a member of the church for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you probably submit mission papers
About like June.
June of
The next
22.
Yeah.
Okay. Funny, because I had my call in April of 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So June of 22, you got your call?
I got my call in August, and they
August.
sent me out.
Oh, that's right, because it has
yeah.
to be a year. Okay.
Yeah, they sent me out in October.
Okay.
Yep.
So in October, and then you left for
Houston,
which mission?
Texas Houston South mission.
Houston South.
The best mission in the world.
English or Spanish?
Kind of a mix. I got called English, but they sent me a lot of Spanish because I spoke some
Oh.
before. And so I served like 5 transfers in Spanish.
Cool.
Yep.
What's better?
English or Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, there's pros and cons, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you serve Spanish?
I served English, but I didn't ever serve in Spanish areas, but I know enough to
I remember
find
you telling
someone
me,
to teach. Yeah.
You could like pass them along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons, I think. You teach a lot more people when you're Spanish.
Right.
And it's really cool to learn to bear your testimony in another language. But I've spent a lot of time thinking and pondering and speaking about things in English. So it's much easier to articulate like important thoughts and lessons
Yeah.
in English.
That's cool. So you left in 22.
Mm-hmm.
You get back in 24.
Got back 24 November, last
November.
year. So I haven't been here. I've been home for about 10 months.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Fresh.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been I can't even believe it hasn't been a year. It's felt so long.
For me, I got home because I left at the end of August, came back at the beginning of August 8th, 2024, and just been home and felt called to continue my mission, right? Just
So awesome.
I just do a ton on social media, but
The mission doesn't end, the assignment changes. That's what I've always said.
I love that. Your area just looks different.
Yeah, the assignment's different, but the mission stays the same.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So thinking of it from that perspective, talking about you have a different assignment now. Clearly, I mean, the way I met you is in a gospel setting. You're talking about Jesus Christ. And
Yeah.
of course, I still want to go back deep into kind of what intrigued you about the church and kind of those thoughts. But I guess I'm curious, before we get deep into the origin story of Ryan Sanford, I'm curious to know this latter part of your life where you've now been home from a mission, you're a convert. So clearly there's a lot of excitement and joy that comes from the gospel. And so now, having been home and still clearly being anxiously engaged in God's work, what is it that you do to continue on that path, to continue to share the gospel?
That's a great question. I think I had a lot of friends, even before I was a missionary, that I saw come home and they just couldn't quite figure out what direction to go. And they would always say, "Oh, the mission is just so simple. Your purpose is so simple." I miss those days, so cherish them. And people would tell me that when I was out on the mission. It's true that missionary life is actually pretty simple, and you don't have to worry about freaking paying taxes and like covering payroll and bills
And your rent.
and dealing with like social stuff. But
Drama.
yeah, just everything. It kind of it can sometimes get heavy in life. I mean, and missions are hard too, but there's something about coming back into the real world that it's like the mission's kind of like an incubator where you're.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, it's like, and then you come back in the real world and God's putting you to the test. It's like, are you going to stay faithful, or are you going to actually continue living out these heuristics and principles that I've like
Outlined?
Yeah, that I've taught you through your service. So like, to answer your question, I think that starting a business, for example, the business doesn't have to do with the gospel. It has to do with sales and startups. But I've always viewed anything that I produce, like the fruit that I produce, and I've always viewed myself as like a vessel for righteousness. And so being someone who is very ambitious and wants to build a $30 million company, I view that as an offering to God, which means that I'm not doing that to serve myself. I have a pretty simple lifestyle. I don't really like to buy that much stuff, except for occasionally getting new clothes and energy drinks.
All right, intermission. What's your favorite energy drink?
I have really toned it back. I used to be on Celsius, and then I had a friend whack me and say, "You're gonna die." So it's like, "You're right." And then I toned it back a lot now. I just drink natural yerba mate.
Oh,
caffeine.
do you
But
like yerba? It's a tough adjustment, I bet.
I do. I actually really do it. It makes me feel better. It's just more natural. I like natural stuff. And then, so yeah, it's like I don't have any desire to glut myself or consume material things upon my lusts at all. Like the car that I drive is an electric car. People might think it's fancy, but really it's like actually super cheap.
Lowest cost of ownership.
I don't have to pay gas. Like,
Yeah.
it's so convenient. I don't have to like pay for repairs that much. It's like I just drive it and I don't have to think about anything. So,
Model 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Model 3. So so like that's an example. And then ministering is a huge thing. And I'll try to invite friends to come ministering with me at times because nobody ministers. I don't know anyone that ministers.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're told to and we're supposed to, but people don't do it. And I think that's a huge error in our culture as a church.
Missed opportunity.
Huge error. Yeah, and we'll pay for it. And so I'm not perfect at it, of course, but I'll reach out to people. I'll text my ministering brothers and sisters. I'll try to set up times to meet them. And then the Come Follow Me that me and Xana did, for example, we're doing that every couple weeks. And
I'd love to come again, by the way.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
We're gonna do it at the Flower Bar every month, and then my house on the other,
the off week,
on the
biweekly.
Yep. So, that's just a great example to get a bunch of people together and really share the gospel.
Yeah.
And so, doing things like that is how I've felt like I can actually still magnify my calling as a disciple, among many other things, but those are probably the main things.
We would gather recent converts in a stake, and we would get musical numbers from members in the stake.
Yeah.
And anybody could come hear these conversion stories, hear the music. It's like a music devotional with testimony and conversion. And it's like just really powerful experience.
Insane. Yeah.
I just want to create really spiritually powerful and impactful experiences for people.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'd love to dive into your story.
Sure.
I'm confident though that it's like a mixture of these little things or little testimonies, like little events that like kind of spark interest in you and like help you realize like, oh, this is a good thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And the more people we can bring
Powerful.
in, the more people that can just get a little glimpse of light just time and time again,
Yep.
has such a powerful, so much potential to impact for good.
I couldn't agree more. Are you a fan of David Butler?
Huge fan.
Dude, why do I feel like you're David Butler 2.0? Just had to say it.
Timeline. I just get home from my mission, August 2024. At the end of August every year, Midway has the Swiss Days Festival. I'm sure you're familiar.
Yeah.
So I show up, and I've known of David Butler. My mom loves him, and of course, my mom was like one of the OG "Don't Miss This" podcast watchers, like from YouTube back when Emily Bell Freeman was doing it with David. So I end up getting like, I don't know. I get back from my mission, and we pull up to Swiss Days, and I'm like, oh, Dave Butler's here. Like, that's so awesome. Like, I'd love to meet him. And at that time, I was like, I just love missionary work. I want to be all in on sharing the gospel. So I said to Dave, I was like, Dave, I'm trying to get into social media. I think that there's a lot of good here. There's a lot of good to be had. What advice do you have for me? I would love to just lead people for good, lead them to light. I want to share Jesus. You know, that's like my goal.
Totally.
And he's like, just do it. He's like, just share what you know and be consistent. Don't really think about the numbers, like it doesn't like, he's like, think about it like this. If 50 people like your video or like your post, fill a room with 50 people and they all like your post. It's like just brings in the perspective.
It does, yeah.
And I'm like, that's golden.
Yeah.
And I took that. I was like, okay, so I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to do exactly what he says. I'm just going to share what I know is true. It's just a part of my life that I'm now putting out there for everybody.
Yeah.
So he was like my OG inspiration. Like, hey, just share the gospel, share what you know to be true, share what's on your mind. And so from that time, August to the end of the year, I was really trying to just kind of figure life out, being home. But I did a mixture of like motivating people on social media. And then I started to like actually understand how social media really works to reach people.
Right.
And then I started utilizing that. And then especially once January rolled around, I was like, all right, I'm all in. I know what to do. I just have to do it. And integrity is like my core attribute that I live at.
Dude, yeah.
And so just like everything that I knew, everything he'd shown me and taught me, and then everything that I just was like passionate about, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So I've just been really focused on all that. And so like,
there you go.
I still wouldn't say, I can't accept the title that I'm Dave Butler 2.0, which is very kind of you to say.
No, I was just like, you had said Dave Butler and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just teleported and I'm in the podcast with Dave Butler's nephew or something.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. Hopefully he sees this.
Oh, he could. He does follow me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's a huge inspiration. I really look up to David.
Good.
And his family too. His family, his sons, Christian and Jack. I was there when Jack gave his homecoming and Christian gave his farewell. Christian just left on his mission, but
awesome.
They're just, the Butlers are really cool.
Good people.
Yeah, such good people. But I care, like I said, I care so much about the gospel, sharing the message, utilizing, because this is the thing. This is where like my brain kind of gets. People will look at social media and they'll be like, oh, social media sucks. And like, even, I'm sure you probably saw this on your mission, but missionaries are like, oh, social media work is not real missionary work. Yeah. That's a terrible attitude.
Yeah.
Which I mean, even myself, like I sometimes get in the mindset like, oh yeah, no, like we should just go knock doors instead. We'll find more people.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not about, it's exactly what David really said. It's not about like it's not about the quantity. It's not about the number. It doesn't matter if you can find 20 people every week. You're looking to invite people to come unto Christ, not to have good key indicators, not to like perform so that others can see you, like have high numbers.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the missionary work, like there's like a spectrum, because on one end you have the people that they only care about quantity, key indicators, and it kind of becomes performative.
Totally.
And it kind of becomes like a flex, like, oh, we had the best amount of church attendance in our zone this week, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the other side of the spectrum of people who are like, key indicators don't matter. And it's like, well,
they tell us a lot.
The apostles make it pretty clear they're important. And then what you're saying is like that middle. There's actually it's so funny. Most people would fall to either side, but there's like the few missionaries that really understand. It's like key indicators are super important, but they're not a measure of my worth as a missionary. They actually just are a way for me to be better at bringing souls to Christ. And they give me data, because you can't lie with data. Your data can't lie. You can't argue with data. So it's like, okay, maybe we only found 2 people this week. Oh, but this one guy we found, he had been taught by the missionaries several years ago, and they lost contact with him, and he's like in a really tough spot and needs the gospel. That's a huge win, even though it only says 2 finds that week. But you understand my point. It's like both are important. Either side of that spectrum is right about something, but they're missing the mark. So
absolutely. And that's like where my mind goes with social media work, is like, you might not be bringing them in by the boatloads, but these people that do respond are very high intent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a focus. I remember I was running ads as a missionary. I was like the ads manager.
Yeah.
And one of the consistent trainings was like, run ads that are high intent. You're going to spend money and the cost per lead is going to be higher, but these leads are hot.
Yeah.
Like they are qualified.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're reaching out because you posted an ad about baptism, not because you're like, hey, you looking to grow your faith? everybody's looking to grow their faith,
Right.
you know, and like, it's just whether or not they can stick to it. So if you get 100 people that respond to that, hey, I'm looking to get my faith increased, that's where you end up with a bunch of these referrals.
Right.
Missionaries lose their faith in social media work because it's just bad leads, and none of them are actually salespeople. So they don't get, and even me, it's not like you're not a salesperson, but you are
Yeah.
at the same time. You're working with people that are coming from leads, and they're filling out a form, and they're now in the hands of missionaries, and missionaries don't understand that this is just how it works. It's cold outreach.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it was so funny because I was, when we got our new mission president, and me and a few other guys, they formed literally a full-time media team. We called it SEAL Team 6. We'd travel the mission and like give trainings, and
That's awesome.
what probably it seemed to a lot of missionaries that was really lame and that we weren't doing missionary work, but we actually just like went all in. And by the end of that first transfer of having the SEAL Team 6, everyone was obsessed with media. Like,
I love that.
obsessed. Like, we all were like, we were the hype people. Like, it was so fun. We made content. It was like literally so fun. And yeah, you noticed that the media referrals that we'd get a lot in Houston, like a lot of media referrals, and
a good mix of Spanish and English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good mix. But like, it was so interesting because people thought they were just buns at first, like media referrals. And every once in a while you'd hear a cool story. But then the media team came in and we showed them like, and now that I'm running a business, it's so interesting to see the correlation between like, you know, because I know all about cost per lead and like cost per qualified book call and all this nonsense. So like
sales jargon.
Yeah, literally. On my mission, it was like we're teaching people proper heuristics of receiving referrals and responding, like speed to lead is what we call it.
Love
like,
it.
And we noticed it picked up like a lot, like we get a lot more lessons with referrals, like and a lot more baptisms. So it was cool to watch that in action and overcome the common limiting belief that media is trash. The one thing we could never quite figure out was Facebook finding. Missionaries don't know how to do Facebook finding.
Like personal profile.
Yeah, like messaging people. Like, it's just, I'm sure there's something for it to work. But just like in business, like cold outreach is one of the least effective ways of generating leads unless you have a really like ironclad system. It just depends.
True.
But media referrals were great.
I do agree with you there. There are a lot of missionaries that struggled with that personal profile stuff.
Yeah.
I wish, dude, you know what would be sick is a master class on like how to apply these missionary social media skills before your mission.
Well, dude,
so you know how to do it. Like I would be so in to like create something because I'm not going to lie. I kind of became this like Facebook finding machine on my mission with personal profile contacting. Like I just had I would send people voice clips and videos and like pictures, and anybody that I sent, like there was a week where I sent like 450 friend requests, and I ended up with like, I had a high percentage, like 20% accepted. I just messaged them all and like ended up finding one girl, and she ended up getting baptized, and it's like just I don't know. It's just, anyway.
No, sorry. Yeah, but there's a guy named Charlie Morgan who he runs a business called I forgot the name of the business. Acquisition something. But it has been like they're doing like $1 million a month right now. And
That's cool.
He scaled initially by cold outreach methods. And a friend of mine, bless his heart, gave me some of the materials from like his $10,000 like accelerator, talking about cold outreach. And he had like all of these insane, very specific methods of doing cold outreach. And the whole time I was watching through these, I was like, oh, if only I knew about these when we were trying to like jumpstart Facebook finding on my mission. Cause like, it's so funny. You send a certain kind of message, a lot of missionaries, what they'll do is they'll send a message like, hey, blah, 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 I'm sister so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
Sister,
blah, blah, blah,
that's the issue too, yeah.
No. But
hello,
like,
I'm sister so-and-so.
Yeah, or I'm elder. It's like, what? But yeah, it's like a huge paragraph and then he would like send memes. He'd literally send memes for business acquisition, and it would get booked calls.
That's awesome.
So interesting. And I'm like, if only I could like take this training and like make it for missionary work, because he scaled a $30 million company doing this.
Dude, wouldn't that be a sick project?
Be an insane project, but
we'll talk about that off air.
We'll have to get him baptized first. Just kidding.
No, I'm saying like he doesn't even have, I mean, I'd hate to steal his principles and just like rebrand it, but we wouldn't sell it. We wouldn't be making money. We'd
No,
be
yeah, we
sharing the
wouldn't.
gospel off it.
Yeah, literally.
It'd be cool to teach a class on that.
Yeah.
But
100%.
anyway, so okay, sorry. Just to kind of jump, just like bring it back.
Yeah,
Bring it
sure.
back.
Yeah.
This is such a good. I love this conversation so far.
This is good.
This
It's
is
really good.
so fun.
I've enjoyed this.
Me too. My mind is, I mean, we're of course talking about missionary work and personal profile contacting and all that sorts of stuff. Where were you like born and raised?
I was born in Denver, Colorado.
Really?
And yeah, but I only
Denver or where?
Denver, yeah, right in Denver. And
Denver.
Denver.
Okay, because I served in Denver.
Do you know Charlie Halverson?
Charlie Halverson. No.
Okay. He might have gotten back before, but I was born in Denver, lived there 3 years, and then moved to Kansas, grew up in Kansas my whole life.
That's right, because you mentioned Kansas.
Yeah.
That's right. So when you said Denver, I was like, why didn't we talk about this already?
Yeah. I only lived
Yeah.
in Denver like three years.
Okay,
Then we
because I
moved-
served in Highlands Ranch and like Littleton.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff.
Cool.
It's a good spot.
Cool. It's a great spot. Yeah, I loved visiting.
But moved to Kansas, and you were talking about what's this town called again?
Overland Park.
Overland Park.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up in like Johnson County, Olathe, Leawood, Overland Park, and like super good school district. My folks, we were really fortunate to get into this school district because I didn't grow up wealthy. Like my parents, it was really stable. Like my dad worked at Federal Reserve Bank for his
Cool.
whole career. Started it out of college, soon after college, and he's just about to retire like next year. And he's gonna have a good pension. So like my whole life was super stable. We'd have some trips, but nothing super luxurious. And we tried to be frugal. So it was good. And Kansas is just a great spot. I'd move back if I could convince a woman to go to Kansas with me. But every girl I tell that I'm from Kansas, they're like,
Really?
What's in Kansas?
Me, the Sanfords,
They're like the Sanfords.
the Sanford residents.
Literally, it's like,
Overland Park.
they're like, what's out there? It's like corn. It's like, well, no, it's pretty much the same as here, but no
Less mountains
no
though.
mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah, I loved growing up there.
So living in Kansas, like you mentioned, you were baptized in 2021. So tell me about your first kind of introduction to the church and how it continued and just how you ended up where you were
Well,
at.
you know, my family actually really disagrees with the church. And that was a challenge at first when I joined, but it's gotten a lot better. Like I'm so close with my family right now, and I'm really grateful for that. But my first impressions were always just hearing stuff they would say about it,
Yeah.
which you can probably guess what that was.
Galatians 1:8.
Well,
Heretics.
I wish
No,
not
sorry.
quite, no.
No, but like
Yeah, more just like
the polygamy
cult,
stuff.
like
Cult. Yeah.
They weren't super religious, so you didn't hear any of the Bible scriptures out of context that they try to
Yeah.
use to disprove our church.
Yeah.
Um,
But just the standard, like,
just the
Mormons are a
basic-
cult.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
weird. Like, and then I met my two best friends in the world, Sawyer and Charlie. Charlie Halverson's who I asked.
Okay.
about.
Okay.
He served in Denver, but yeah, they went to high school with me. Sawyer was my age. Charlie was a year younger, or a couple years younger, and we.
Is he related to Jared Halverson?
Jared, the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's the one with the podcast, the Unshaken.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's maybe.
Because he's a professor, but
Yeah.
he also has a podcast.
Yep, that's him.
That's his uncle.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah, but we just became really good friends, and
So you said Charlie and Sawyer,
Sawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Kansas.
Kansas.
Okay.
Sawyer ended up being the one who baptized me several years later, but our friendship in high school was awesome. Like they never proselytized, whatever the word is.
Preached.
They never tried to force their faith on me. I just knew they were members, and it was like this very slow, really good things in life take time. That's one big thing I've learned is the best things in life take time. They're hard earned. They require a lot of patience. And so like that was the perfect case because it was very slow for me to, spend time with them, start realizing that they were just the best dudes I'd ever met, go to their house, meet their family. Wow, this is an amazing family. Wow, I feel really good when I'm over at their house. Wow, we have lots of fun when we go on vacations. And I just hang out with them all the time. And wow, they actually take their faith really seriously. this is way different than what I'm used to, where people seem to just go to church on Sundays and worship and then live whatever lifestyle they want.
Yeah.
Um,
Dang.
yeah, it just took over time. I started to really warm up, and it literally wasn't even until college, because what happened was senior year after I graduated, we took this summer trip where one day we just got together and we decided we wanted to go find a place on Google Maps, pack our bags in a car, and
That's
go
awesome.
camp in this spot. There were like these abandoned mountains, or the abandoned oil rigs by these mountains in Oklahoma, and
How far is that drive, by the way?
from I don't know, it was about 6-7 hours.
Sorry,
No,
6 or 7.
Literally.
It comes up all the time. I don't know how that happens, but
No, you're
anyway.
good.
Keep
No, it's good. It's
keep going. Sorry.
good.
Yeah, you're going to Oklahoma. Google Maps.
No, literally. But like I remember that trip was one of the highlights of my entire life. I couldn't even explain to you how incredible I felt when we got there. We spent the whole day together driving. We stopped at like this lagoon or whatever. We just had a lot of fun. We were gooning around, and we got to the mountains. It was golden hour. We climbed this first mountain. It was really dangerous, actually. We didn't have any equipment, and it was like really steep, and we like could have died. It was really stupid. And then we got
Look at you now.
Yeah, literally. We got to the top, and it was just beautiful, like golden hour, like the most stunning view, and all of us were just stoked out of our minds. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. We took a bunch of pictures. I still have them in my phone. Then we went back down. We got our bags, and then we hiked up this different mountain, and we hiked for a while. We got chased by some wild horses. That was kind of crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, horses are scary when they're wild.
No, they were like rogue horses.
They're like moose.
They came after us. We were like, oh, we ran up. Yeah. And we found this spot at the top of this other mountain. And by this time it was dark, and there was like freshly cut grass for cattle, but there was no cattle. It was completely quiet and serene. And we just laid our sleeping bags out and watched the stars. And there were no lights for many miles. So we saw every single star ever. And I was
magical, bro.
I was just sitting there with these 4 guys, Sawyer and Charlie and a couple other guys, and I was just like, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. I feel on top of the world. This is spiritual. And by that time I wasn't really spiritual, but I remember that experience as a core memory. And then that stuck with me throughout college. We'd continue going on trips. Eventually we started talking about the gospel in the car. I was doing like Greek life and frat life in college, doing all this stuff that.
Where were you at, by the way?
University of North Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there for music. And
Dude, sick.
yeah, it was.
We're going to have some fire conversation.
Oh, dude, 100%. I'll tell you all about it. But it's like I would, doing frat life and everything. And it just, over time, I think from a young age, I had this desire to be accepted. And I thought that joining a fraternity and getting involved with that crowd and being one of the cool dudes would be fulfilling. So that's what I did. And I went and did it and became one of the guys, and, went to the parties, did the stuff. And I was like, after a while, I was like, this just sucks. Like, all these guys want to do is drink and waste their lives and do bad stuff with girls. I was like, I don't have any desire to do this stuff. So stopped hanging out with those guys.
Did you leave the frat?
I just stopped going.
You stopped? Okay.
Yeah, I just stopped going. It wasn't fulfilling to me at all.
Sorry, before you continue, I want to ask you a sidestep kind of question.
Sure.
What was that like?
Which part?
Like, you have to say, like, these are the, like, because I'm a big environment guy.
Yeah.
Right. And clearly that's a big deal, which is why you're like, I'm going to stop going to these parties. But just because you say I'm going to stop going to these social events, especially if you haven't like left the frat, you're living around them still. So I'm sure that you're not just now facing like a mental, like, hey, I got to stop. But now it's also, oh, Ryan, like, why aren't you coming? Like, what are you doing, Ryan? Like,
Yeah.
come on, dude, it's going to be cool. Like, we're going to love, like, you need to come, bro. There's girls, like, but like all this stuff. Like, I'm sure you just get slammed with it. Like,
Yeah.
what is that like? And what do you learn from that kind of environment
Yeah.
to stick to what you feel right about doing? Was it like that or was it different?
Kind of. I would say that I never lived in the frat house.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was good. I
Good
would,
context.
Yeah, I would not live in the frat house. That place was nasty.
Yeah.
And like, just, I don't know. I think I would think about Sawyer and Charlie, and I would think about, wow, these guys, I want to be like these guys, you know, like this is the kind of life I want to live. And I wasn't a member or even close at that point. And then COVID hit. We all got sent home to finish school online. I lived with my parents for 4 months.
Went back to Kansas.
Yeah, back to Kansas. Was just finishing school online. This was actually a really, really crucial time in my life. I just started reading a lot of books that unlocked my mind to a lot of things, not only with faith but business. And
Sorry, side question.
Yeah.
You're big into sales now. At this time in your life, I imagine you were. I mean, you're entrepreneurial. It comes over time, of
it
course.
does.
Is this kind of like a
This
time
is-
in your life when you're like turning to sales
Yep.
and like, okay,
This is when it was. And before that, you know, Sawyer had given me a Book of Mormon the previous summer,
cool.
and it kind of just sat on my desk in my college dorm and watched me like do stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And I never really read it. And then when I got home, started reading these books, I started getting it really into business, entrepreneurship, and read a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which completely, it's the first time I'd ever read a book in my life where I was like, I know this is true, and I don't know how to explain it. I know that what this book is saying is true. And I got so excited about it, share with my family, like, because, you know, before I was super analytical.
You're talking about 7 Habits?
7 Habits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Because I was like, usually that's like a.
that's the Book of
I
Mormon.
know the Book of Mormon is
Literally.
true.
But that's the feeling I had with
Yeah,
7 Habits.
it's
I
true.
literally had that feeling.
Phenomenal
And
book,
it
by
just
the way.
Right. It was talking these principles of responsibility, like agency, like persuasion, like how to work with people.
How quickly did you just like pick that book up and just cook through it? Like you seem like a kind of person, you pick it up, you couldn't put it down.
I got it for $1 at a rummage sale. The
Golden.
best return on investment of any money spent
It's
ever.
so good.
I burned through it pretty quickly. I would reread it though. I'd keep
Yeah.
going. I'd listen to the lectures, like,
As you should.
and then it's so funny. I showed Sawyer and Charlie. I was like, guys, this book is so awesome.
They
They're
like
oh,
joked.
hey, that's actually written by a member of our faith. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
You're like, it's all starting to connect.
And I was the dots were coming together. Like,
Because I imagine like you say that and it seems kind of like sarcastic and joking, but like legit
at the time,
like
it
you
was
probably start to be like, oh well, every time I went on vacation with y'all, I felt this way. Every
Yep.
time I like was around you guys, I felt this way. When
Yep.
I read this book, I felt this way.
Exactly.
And now you're telling me that this guy
It's written by a member, and it was kind of like I was still kind of denying it at the time. I was like, "There's no way," but like,
impossible.
I know. But deep down,
How could this be?
deep down, I was like, "All right, this is something's coming up here. This is becoming something."
Did you really recognize it like that in the moment? Like you really felt like,
Well, I don't know.
This is
I
this
think-
is the start to something.
Well, it's you look at dating too, right? It's like, or just different. Like good things take time. You know, like when you receive revelation, oftentimes it's line upon line. It's not. It's hardly ever all at once.
Yeah.
Things in life don't really like big things usually don't smack you right away.
True.
Sometimes they do, but most of the time, like Elder Bednar says, it's line upon line. It's like a sunrise. So like if there's someone, I know people that and even in my own experience, like when I think back to high school, like if some of the best experiences I had dating began as like friends, and it was like a very much a line upon line, like getting to know someone, or like with a career thing, like realizing what I needed to do with my career was very much a line upon line over time discovering.
Yeah.
And so the gospel for me was also very much line upon line over time, like a sunrise until we're today, several years later, and it's a beaming sunrise. Like the sun is up and I can see it and it's illuminating everything because I was faithful through all those steps as I was receiving each tiny little revelation along the way that this was the path that God had set in front of me that he wanted me to take. So,
Dang.
yeah.
Really good analogy. I like the sunrise.
Yeah.
So continue on at this point.
Well,
You read 7 Habits.
7 Habits.
You're starting to realize the
And
sun
then-
is coming up.
It literally is, yeah. I got recruited to, funny enough, go do summer sales,
Door to door.
door to door,
Where?
pest control in Minnesota,
For
Moxie.
You sold for Moxie?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that clicked too because they're big 7 Habits.
Well, that's the thing. I sat down in the interview with the guy, and I was.
Well, who would you sit down with?
His name's Dane Scouten.
Okay.
A good friend of mine, and I'm like, he's like, tell me about yourself. I'm like, oh, well, there's this really cool book that I was reading, and I like it changed my life. He's like, what's the book? 7 Habits. His eyes were like, he realized in that moment, oh, I've got this kid in the bag, like, cause, like,
dude,
the whole company's based on 7 Habits.
It literally
Jason
is.
Walton founded the company on the principles of 7 Habits, and he gives trainings on it. So
I was gonna say before you even mentioned you sold for Moxie, I was gonna bring it up that like, yeah, one time I went to a meeting at Moxie HQ.
Yep.
And this guy, his name, well, I don't remember. Who's the CEO right now?
Jason Walton,
Are you sure? Oh, Jason. Okay, everyone called him his first name, so I was like, oh, Jason.
white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets up and he's like, because I have a buddy that originally was one of the OG like Moxie salespeople.
Yeah.
And he went to like San Diego and sold there with Jason and all them.
Yeah.
And he gets up. He's like, so we're gonna be reading from 7 Habits. Like they just invited me to a leadership meeting because they all sold pest control in Denver where I was serving my mission in the YSA. They were like, yo, pull up to Moxie. We're like doing a training, and he pulls out 7 Habits and like starts teaching from it. So when you were like, yeah, I read seven Habits, I was gonna say like that's so cool. Like one of the last like cool experiences I had was at Moxie.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that you like that this is all, I can really see how this is all, once again, the sunrise. It's like all significant. Like it
is.
tells your story so well.
No, for sure.
So keep going. Sorry, you're in this interview. He's lit up. He's like, no way, this guy.
It was just in the bag from there. Like I went out and shadowed him, and then I decided like a day later to go up to Minnesota with them, just on a whim. My expenses were covered. He saw potential in me. I saw potential in the opportunity. And
What month is this in, by the way?
this is end of May, and I'm moving out of my childhood home
And so you're in Kansas,
in Kansas.
and this is when you meet Dan.
This Dane, yeah,
Dane, sorry.
you're good. And then, but we're literally a week away from moving out of my childhood home, so I need to be there for that and help my family. So I do. I start knocking doors in freaking Overland Park for Moxie just to get my feet wet, and then when the time comes, I head up to Minnesota. I sell for I only sold for 2 months because I had to come back for school, and did really well, fortunately, and it was an amazing experience. Hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life, I tell you. Like, I completely like the rising phoenix, like burning off all of your dead weight, like.
Would you? Sorry, you're saying keep going, and then I'll say something.
No, just like it completely changed me, like into a different creature that summer.
So you said hardest thing you've ever done, and do you mean up to that point, or do you mean still currently, like after having been on a mission?
I mean,
because I just did door-to-door this last year.
Yeah,
I would stand on the fact that door-to-door is way harder than a mission.
No, for sure, I would agree. I'm trying to think. There's been hard things in my life.
Yeah.
Really hard things.
Yeah.
But when I say like day after day,
Volunteer.
like volunteering, I remember I called my mom at one point when I was like, I can't do this, and she knew I was out there selling with a bunch of Mormons, and she wasn't super thrilled about that. So she told me over the phone, she was like, just know that if you decide to come home, it's not a failure. Like, you can come home. So I got off the phone and I realized I've only got myself. I'm the only person who's choosing this path. No one's doing it for me. What am I going to choose? It was up to me at that point. It was like a superhero moment. And I just kept going. Something in me, I just kept going. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you to this day how I made that decision, but it got better, ended up becoming one of the top rookies in that branch, and then went home, and my life was completely different at that point. That was the foundation, I think, for joining the church, was the 7 Habits, going out to do door-to-door, being with all those guys. Oh, wow, all these other 50 dudes that I'm selling with are just like Sawyer and Charlie. Weirdly enough, I want to be like them, and I like spending time with them, and they're not douchey frat guys, right?
Yeah.
So, huge experience.
Wow. And then the sun was right there. Okay.
The sun, I was peeking over the horizon at that point.
This is gonna have to be a 2-part.
No,
I'm
open. I'd love to, man.
This is insane.
Let's do
I'm learning a ton.
Good.
So really quick to kind of wrap up this end here. This summer that you are selling for Moxie, you're in college. Is this the summer of 21 where you sold door to door, or 2020? Because COVID.
This is 2020.
So you went and you knocked in COVID. Okay. So COVID summer, you're out in Minnesota. Minnesota, you said?
Yep.
Okay, you're in Minnesota, you're knocking for Moxie. This is the turning point where you're like, well, not even turning point. It's just like another moment on the path like you're talking about. The sun's rising.
Right.
So then I imagine you get back to school.
Yep.
Something happens or some things happen.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
No, yeah, just like I went back to be a resident assistant for my college, and I
Okay.
just lived off of the money I made summer sales, was doing school. And this is when I started to really realize I needed to change paths. But I didn't want to start over my degree, so I just kept studying. I was on track.
You were studying music.
Yeah. I decided to finish my degree just to have the degree,
Wow.
but I knew that my path was sales at this point, so I was starting to build a team for the next summer. I was really focused on that. I ended up going out with a team of like 14, 15 people the next summer.
Did you go back to Minnesota?
Went to Chicago.
Chicago.
But anyways,
Do you know David Smith?
yeah. It's a good
David's who I'm talking about.
dude. Yeah.
He's the guy that pulled up to
Yeah.
Denver.
He's a really good dude.
He's a beast.
But anyways, my boss when I was a resident assistant was literally so controlling, like authoritarian. Everything had to be done exactly as she said.
In Moxie?
No.
At school.
School, my resident assistant boss. And I
That's
started
the worst.
I started to like resent. I was like, basically, every tiny little mistake I made would, like, I remember I was supposed to be out on campus a few days early for a retreat, and I told her, I was like, and it was a virtual retreat, so like it was virtual,
dumb.
and I said, oh, actually, I have a team leader for my summer job flying in to do a recruiting meeting that day. So I'll just attend the meetings remotely and then I'll fly out the next day. And she was not happy about that. And she ended up giving me a final written warning for my first offense for doing that, for not being on campus for a virtual retreat, like it completely virtual.
Could you have gotten, I mean, integrity, but like, could you have gotten away with just not telling her?
No,
She would be like,
she was super,
why aren't you on campus?
Yeah, literally, she was super all.
That is
But anyways,
so dumb.
a couple more.
Sorry,
a
but
couple more offenses, and I got fired. She totally fired me.
no way.
Yeah.
So as a resident assistant, you're like living in a spot.
Yep.
When you get fired, you've got to move.
I'm out. Yeah, I went live with my buddies,
Wow.
and I could not have been happier.
Good.
It was
Wait.
just crazy story.
So which buddies do you move in with?
Oh, these are just some music friends, but then
Okay.
I kept
At
recruiting-
University of North Texas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kept recruiting my team. Went out for that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the summer that I got baptized because I had tried meeting with missionaries again, but I was so focused on work and I was so focused on school. I just kept getting I just couldn't quite devote my thoughts to it. And then I get out for that second summer. Sawyer comes back from his mission.
Did Sawyer come out with you?
He did. And
That's
so
fire.
did Charlie.
Sawyer and
both
Charlie both pulled up.
came out with me. Yep.
That's awesome.
And they're like, dude, you just got to meet with the missionaries again. You just got to try.
Was this their rookie summer out selling?
This was their rookie summer.
So that's kind of cool because they're like a little bit church mentory
Yeah.
to you, and then you're like sales mentory
And
to
I'm the one who
them,
pulled
and
them
then-
in, yeah,
Yeah,
to the-
that's cool.
Yeah. And so we met missionaries. Once again, I was so focused on work that whole summer that I couldn't quite devote time to it. And I remember there was one time I was complaining to Sawyer. I was like, it's so hard. Like, why isn't this going this way? Like, blah, blah, blah. And Sawyer was like, kind of paused, and he was like, hey, maybe if you actually just did what the missionaries invited you to do, then maybe your life wouldn't suck so much. Is basically what he said.
Savage.
I know.
So savage.
I was like, oh.
Praise God for friends like that.
No, literally, he just told me how it was. Like, just exactly. Like, God bless him for that. Like, made the biggest difference. So I started taking it seriously, and then 2 months later, I was baptized
Wow. In Chicago.
in Chicago. And then I left for home the next day. And let me tell you, coming home was very interesting after joining the church to my parents.
Wow.
So many stories we could share.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say the principle, that whole process was very much just trusting line upon line, being so patient. Everyone, whether it's in career, dating, everyone just wants things right now. They just want it right now. Like, if it's not going to go their way right this second, then they're just going to like throw their hands up and move on. But I've learned that just good things take so much time. You got to like be patient. You just got to like ride it out. You got to have faith and trust. And it's hard sometimes because I like seeing results. I like seeing things happen quick, but the gospel has especially taught me that good things take time. You have to just trust in the process that God's unfolding, whatever that is in your life. If it's has to do with, your job, your faith, your testimony, your relationships, whatever it is.
Wow. That's really good. I think I should have been counting, but I think you've said that 9 times. If I were to make an approximation,
You're probably right.
and it's so true. I
Yeah.
think you say that good things take time. I've also heard it as good things come to those that wait.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that
It's
too.
the law of the harvest.
Yeah.
The law of the harvest.
Yeah. I listened. I can't believe this comes up in like every podcast I've had recently.
Yeah.
But have you heard the devotional by Elder Eyring who talks about patience?
Perhaps.
He talks about the law of the harvest. He's like, all of you are like for any of you who are like economically minded, you may be familiar with the law of diminishing returns. You mow the lawn once, then you mow it again. Over time, it's going to become less worthwhile, less effective to mow the lawn again and again and again and again. Like 1 lap's good, 2 will clean it up, 3's not really helpful, 4 is you're just overkill or whatever. Like it just in each time, just diminishing returns. He talks about the law of the harvest and how putting off the day of your satisfaction will just increase the joy in that day.
Yeah.
It's a similar idea of like, we live this life, put off all temptation, put off all, I guess you could say like seek discomfort now so that we can be refined and enjoy exaltation with God later.
Yeah.
Because there are so many natural inclinations and instincts of us as the natural man to succumb to and fall into, that it's hard to step outside of that comfort zone and continue to choose discomfort.
Right.
So the whole idea Elder Eyring talks about, there's one story, and I absolutely love it, but he just shares about his dad. He talks about his father.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole premise is basically that his dad was always a professional at giving the absolute best and always taking the worst for himself. So there's a story where he tells that, like, he doesn't go super in depth, but he just mentions it very briefly. He's like, my father would basically, for work, he would get a flight booked from his work that'd be a first class ticket. He would take the ticket to the ticket desk and cash it in for a coach ticket or an economy or whatever you want to call
Right.
it, and then send the difference back to the company. And it just taught this principle that, like, this is the law of the harvest. You live, like you were talking about, you don't live in outlandish means. You live within your means. You live reasonably. You focus on what matters now so that you can continue along that trajectory. Because as a lot of people like to think that, oh, once I'm married, it'll be different. Once I'm this,
Literally,
like,
everyone's always looking at the next thing.
it's never true. It's never true, because if you can't figure it out in the present, you're not going to figure it out in the future.
That's a huge disease. I was telling a friend recently, like, in my life, even though, like, 'cause in my business even, or
Yeah.
like, I'm not married right now, and I have all these guy friends that are like, I need to get married.
Yeah.
And they're just like, so, like,
Fiending.
literally my roommate's brother. But hopefully no one knows who they are.
They'll see this, though.
They're all like, I need to get married. And it's like, dude, if you're just always worrying about it, like, and you're always thinking about it, like, not only is that just going to make you less happy, but people around you are going to feel that anxious, like,
Yeah.
gripping, and they're not gonna,
Totally.
it's like repels people. So, like I was telling a friend recently, I'm like so content with everything I have right now. And it's not even like things I have. It's just the gift of the Holy Ghost, the relationship with the Savior.
You do have that, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's not even things I have, but, like,
The gift, no. Like,
I do have the gift.
no, sorry, the gift of the Holy Ghost. But, like, these, the Spirit in your life and the Savior being able to, like, just be in good health, like, that's all you need to be.
Yeah.
You don't need things to be happy.
I like that.
So
It is true. I was gonna say one more thing on the patience part, like you were talking about, just waiting, and there's a lot of people that they'll wait and do nothing.
mhm.
That's a problem too. That's like you mentioned the disease of impatience. It's also a disease of like waiting in inaction, like zero actions taken and just sitting and waiting, like
Yeah.
waiting for something to happen. And this is like, I could just jump into a whole other conversation about like victim mindset and all that sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you need to be a person that just goes, does what you say you will do, and make things happen. And then be patient as you work,
Mm-hmm.
not just sit and watch and expect that by and by things will occur,
Yeah.
but diligently seek the results that you
Exactly.
want.
It was Alex Ramosi that said the world belongs to those who can work without seeing immediate results for a long time.
I believe so. Sounds like Armosi.
Yeah. That's a true principle.
One of the 12 people you follow.
Yeah, literally. Dude, everyone's been getting on me for that. I'll just make
I'm not trying to get on
I'll
you
make
for that.
I'll make a public statement just so everyone knows that I did that so that I wouldn't have to worry about like always scrolling on my feed and comparing, and like I just decided to follow my mom and the apostles and Alex Ramosi just to really control what I consume.
I'm the
So,
same way. I just have a harder time letting some specific follows go. But
no,
I did get, someone was mad at me. They're like, well, a couple people actually.
yeah.
Someone, yeah,
And that's why I did it to everyone, is so that no one took it personally.
that's fair.
Like I just literally because I
True.
couldn't.
When you
I-
pick and choose, it's
when you pick and choose, then you like create enemies. But I was like, oh, I'll just unfollow everybody. So
my mindset was, I'm gonna follow the people that I talk to like all the time,
mm-hmm.
and the people that I work with like on a semi-consistent basis.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, everyone else, like, I love you, and there's no beef, and that's how you feel. There's no beef.
No, I literally had a guy call me, my buddy. He called me yesterday. He was like, "I'm not your fan. I unfollowed." And then we just talked. We were
Sure.
we were kind of joking around. He was like, "All right, I'll follow you again," like because he realized it wasn't anything personal. It was just the way I choose to use social media.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think people get so caught up in and this is another
The
conversation
profile,
too. Like, people get so caught up in the social media thing, like, oh, you're supposed to follow everyone you know and all that. And it's like,
Or just like how you look, and yeah, like
and if people are going to get mad at the way that you choose to use social media, they have bigger problems.
yeah, it's true.
You know,
It's
like, and it's just not even worth the breath. And I don't say that to be offensive. Like, I don't say that to just be rude, but like, I've had this conversation. So many people, the people that will tell you that,
Yeah.
why don't you follow me, are the same people that would be like, oh, social media just sucks. Like, I just need to like get off and like stop using it. And it's like, well, that's because you don't do what I do.
Right.
You look at it and you're like, oh, I'm a victim of social media.
Yep.
And I had this conversation this last week on Sunday, actually, before coming to Come Follow Me. But it's just like, social media is like money. It makes you more of who you really are.
Right.
It's like, if you have more money, you'll do good with your money. If you have a lot of money and you're a good person, you'll do good things with that money. If you have a lot of money and you're a bad person, you'll do bad things with that money. If you have social media and you're a good person, you'll do good things with social media.
Mm-hmm.
If you have social media and you're a bad person, you'll do bad things with social media.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a thing.
It's
And
true.
if people are going to be like, oh, social media sucks, then it's just, you're not using it right.
Right. I agree. I
It's
totally
a
agree with
neutral
that.
creation. It was not meant for good or bad. But the reason why everyone's like, social media sucks, social media is bad, is because people use it for bad things.
Yeah, and you see the fact that most of the world is, like the scriptures teach, that we're in sin and iniquity. So social media is mostly used for bad,
True.
for exploiting. I mean, but there's more and more good. You know, the wheats are getting wheatier and the tares are getting terrier. So
That's a good quote.
we see that in the world. But dude, these are good conversations, man. I could go on.
Me too. I feel like I could talk to you for like 3 more hours probably.
Bro, I would
You got a
love that.
meeting in about 10, so
I do.
I'll let you head out. Do you got any last words of wisdom for everybody?
Well, I'll just say one thing I haven't said. Good things take time. Is that 10?
10 right there.
No, for real.
Or 12, I don't know.
I've just been, you learn that a lot, especially as an entrepreneur, but every other experience I'm having and have had in my life, I'm learning that more and more. Like, the law of the harvest is true. There's no shortcuts. You can't skip steps. and you can't fake character. You need to have the character that can endure the testing and the trying to receive the reward of your faith. So I'm trying to become every day.
I love that. You can't fake character.
You literally can't. People know. Everybody knows. Everyone's so perceptive. So just become. Just focus on becoming.
Love it. Thank you, everybody, whether you're watching or listening. That's Ryan Sanford.
Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time. Episode 2.